Okay, what we have here is a dynamic power factor correcting unit from Energy Saver. And we have two 1 horsepower motors here. And with a little power strip right here. And what we're going to show is we're going to show that this dynamic power factor correcting unit will turn off and on as these motors power off and on. So basically, this dynamic unit will add capacitance as needed to the line. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to hook up the CT. So there we go, and basically it's the power coming in from the wall, goes through the power cable. There's the power cable all the way here, right into here. There's our ground wire back there. Okay, there's the two power cords, and then those are for the motors, and then here's the power cord for the dynamic unit. So let's go ahead and turn some power on here, and then we'll run some checks back and forth. Okay. So first thing that we have this plugged in with both motors on, and as you can see, the unit right now, the dynamic unit has all lights. Each one of these is a bank of capacitors that turn on. Up here, one's the power light, the other one is the CT direction light. Okay, and just real quick, as you can see right here, this is currently drawing 7.0 amps. I'm going to go over here and turn this off. This is just the dynamic unit. We're going to plug it. The dynamic unit is off, and now the amperage is 15 amps. Okay, so let me plug in the dynamic unit again. We're going to go back over here and plug this back in. If I can get it there. As we see, the dynamic unit turns back on. It's going to engage the power factor capacitance. Okay, it's going through, and if we notice here, it went from 15 amps down to 7.8 amps. Now let's take these motors in and out of the circuit. Okay, so first we're going to unplug one. Let's unplug them both. We're going to plug them both because what I want to show you is that this dynamic unit actually does not draw any power. Okay, so they're both unplugged. The amperage is nothing there. It's actually like 0.03 amps or so, but as you can see on the meter, this only goes to a 0.1, so it actually draws like 0.01 amps or so, which is really negligible. Okay, and the unit is turned off. Now we're going to plug in one motor, okay? And if we come over here, we'll see that when we plug in one motor, the unit absorbs the surge. It turns on the capacitors for the surge. It's drawing 2 amps. Now I'm going to unplug that one motor, and when you unplug the one motor, it jumps up to 5.6 amps. Oops, my bad. The capacitance turned off, so it's not. Okay, let's plug in the motor again. I want to unplug the unit, not the motor. Okay, so it's drawing 2 amps with the dynamic unit running. Okay, then we're going to go back down here, and I'm going to unplug the unit, and it goes to 7.5 amps. And if you look, the dynamic unit is not running. Okay? Alright, let's plug the dynamic unit back in. Plug the motor back in. Okay, the dynamic unit and the motor are back in. And we're back to 2 amps. Now we have one motor plugged in. I'm going to plug in a second motor so we can see that. See how there's only 2 of the capacitor banks are actually on? When we plug the second motor in, it's going to engage the other 3. So basically it went out there 7.4 amps. It's actually doing its calculations, and it drops down to 7.1 amps, 7.0 amps. And all the lights are on. So this unit is actually all on for these 2 motors. 7.0 amps. Now if we come back over here, I'm going to unplug this, which is the dynamic unit, and let's look at the amperage as it goes up. So I unplugged the dynamic unit at 15 amps. So we have a reduction of 50% of power consumption by this Energy Saver dynamic unit. Alright, I plugged it back in. See it work. So 15 amps. It's going to drop down here because now it starts turning on after being plugged in. And calculates out, puts the capacitance in there, and we're good to go. We went from 15 amps to 7 amps, 2 motors.